those later in the show. You can also text us at 50857. Krabby Krav's been doing his show prep tonight. Magic back in action. Kravs, are you prepared?
I am properly prepared, although I have had to alter some things because I had made a big to-do in my pregame script about Franz being back and being at home. And, he made his return in Berlin, and it was very dramatic and something that fans were looking forward to. But then this is like a separate – it's like a secondary return. It's the first time he's going to be playing at home in front of the fans since he's been out with his ankle injury, and he's out tonight, so we're having to reshape some things, but it's part of the job. So we take it all in stride, Mike.
Speaking of the Magic, let's get to some headlines and highlights right now. You mentioned the Magic after a 4-day break will tip off the second half of the NBA season tonight against the Hornets. As you mentioned, Franz Wagner will not play tonight. Injury management on that high ankle sprain. Jalen Suggs, who's missed several games with a left knee contusion, he had been upgraded to questionable but will not play tonight. We were hoping that he would make his return. Here's Jalen Suggs talking about getting ramped up to play.
How are you feeling? How's everything, coming along?
I feel good. Especially for today, felt really good. Just building back my confidence. Just eager to get playing. I'm antsy. Don't like sitting out. Said that a million times, so I ain't gonna beat a broken drum. But I feel good. It's been nice to get my perspective, but I'm ready to hoop.
And we are ready for you to hoop, Jalen Suggs. The Magic 23-19. Everything's still in front of them. Obviously, the East is still wide open. Krabby Kravs, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. The Magic are almost completely healthy, although Franz and Jalen Suggs won't play tonight, but they will be back soon enough. Mo Wagner's back. Paolo's been back a while. No more excuses. No more excuses from this point on about why they're not playing tough defense, why they're getting off the slow starts. None of that. I don't want to hear any of that anymore, Kravitz. This is a new season right now. Second half, this is where titles are won and lost.
I'm with you. And Paolo Banchero is the star of the team. He needs to carry the load and keep this team playing the way that we believe they are capable of playing. They still have Paolo. They still have Desmond Bane. They still have Wendell Carter Jr., one of the better bigs in the league. Anthony Black has been one of the most improved players in the NBA this season, and that's not just a homer take. He has legitimately been a most improved candidate to this point. They still have guys, and I'm with you. Okay, so they have Charlotte tonight. Let's just go game by game. I'm not going to actually go game by game, but they have one game to worry about right now. It's the Charlotte Hornets. Okay, the Magic are without Franz or without Jalen Suggs. They're coming back from overseas, yada, yada. The excuses are built in to lose. Charlotte was playing last night. They played an ESPN game against the Cleveland Cavaliers, probably flew into Orlando at around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. They've got excuses, too. How about a team like the Detroit Pistons last night, who didn't have Cade Cunningham, who's playing like an MVP? They beat the Pelicans 112-104 on the road. Didn't even need them. So I am tired of the excuses as well. I'm not going to make them, and I don't think fans should either. I'm not saying anybody's feet need to be held to the fire right now. We'll do that at the end of the season, but the time for excuses are over. This team needs to win.
Absolutely. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have hired their new offensive coordinator, and he is former Atlanta Falcons offensive coordinator Zach Robinson. Robinson was not brought back in Atlanta following the firing of head coach Raheem Morris. He was there for 2 seasons with Morris. Both seasons, they were 8-9. The Buccaneers fired their first-year offensive coordinator, Josh Grizzard, after this past season because Tampa Bay's offense was ranked 21st in the NFL in total offense after being number 3 the previous season with Liam Cohen as the offensive coordinator. Kravitz, I would have liked to have seen the Buccaneers get Mike McDaniel, But I think Robinson might be a good hire. He got fired not because he wasn't a good offensive coordinator in Atlanta. He got fired because Raheem Morris they didn't think was a good head coach.
I agree. I think I kind of like the way Atlanta ran their offense. They did a really good job with that two-back system. It helps when you have Bijan Robinson as one of them, but the Bucs kind of run that with the personnel they have. Bucky Irving, and then whether it's Sean Tucker or Rashad White is the other guy. So Zach Robinson, I think, can get the most out of those guys. And, hey, Atlanta just got off to a really bad start. They were clunky in the middle of the season. They were one of the hottest teams in the NFL. It's a good thing for some of these other teams that they didn't make it to the playoffs. They might have actually been a threat to knock somebody out. Hell, Carolina was almost a threat to knock the Rams out. And Zach Robinson was absolutely a part of that. So this is something that I think Bucs fans should be excited about.
Plus, they were rotating quarterbacks. Michael Penix Jr. got hurt. Then they had to throw Kirk Cousins back in. Here's what I like about Robinson. Before joining the Falcons, he was with the L.A. Rams as an assistant. He worked his way up to passing game coordinator and quarterbacks coach 2022 and 2023. Whenever you have any Sean McVay rubbing off on you, that's got to be a good thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, isn't that where Liam Cohen came from as well? He was the wide receivers coach in L.A. I think Sean McVay's tree is starting to look like a redwood. Now, that thing is birthing some NFL coaches out there for sure.
Kravitz, I know you're excited about this. In fact, we're going to have the head coach on later in the show. A new era of professional football about to hit Central Florida. The Orlando Storm announced their schedule today. They are Central Florida's newest pro franchise, a member of the United Football League. They'll open their inaugural season by hosting the Columbus Aviators on Sunday, March 29th, Entering Co Stadium, where Orlando City plays. Kickoff set for 8 p.m. Kravitz, I saw the season ticket prices today, all right? Season tickets are priced as little as $50. I could see you, the football helmet head that you are, becoming an Orlando Storm season ticket holder and taking young son Owen to the games.
You know, that's not crazy. I might have to look into that in the spring. What else are we doing? You know, I'm probably, by the time we get to the middle of the UFL season, I will need a break from April baseball, and we'll need something else to do with my time. And you got to get outside that time of year because it's gorgeous out there. So, yeah, and I think it helps also that they're playing at Inter Coast Stadium, much more cozy vibe. I was all ready to dismiss whatever it is you were going to throw at me, but, you know, when you roped my kid in there, who's become a little bit of a helmet head himself, I think he'd actually be into this. You know, the crowd won't be too intense like it would be for a big-time football game, so this has merit, Mike. This might actually happen, and for $50, I mean, 50, come on.
That's what really roped you. Right?
Yeah, that sells itself.
We will have the head coach of the Orlando Storm, Anthony Becht, on. When do we have him scheduled? 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Real quick, I saw this story this morning. I was reading, you know, Giannis, obviously, they're saying he may be traded from Milwaukee. The Bucks have been stinking it up lately. They lost again last night. They're not just losing, they're getting clobbered. And Giannis said, quote, "We're not playing hard. We aren't doing the right things. We're not playing to win. We're not playing together. Our chemistry's not there." Translation, Kravitz? Doc Rivers is about to be fired, isn't he?
Either that or Giannis is finally going to rip the damn Band-Aid off. I mean, my God. Do you ever have a Band-Aid stuck on your arm and you're afraid to rip it off because you got arm hair and you think it's going to hurt really bad? And so rather than just tear it, you just kind of slowly peel that thing off your arm.
Look underneath it.
Yeah, and it's never the right decision. Okay, you should always just grab it and rip and deal with the pain. It's going to happen. Giannis is slowly removing the Band-Aid from his hairy arm right now. That's the only way I can fix it. Just rip the Band-Aid off, okay, Giannis? We know you don't want to be there anymore. Just be the bad guy, okay? Every other NBA star does it. It's obvious what you're doing. I don't even think this is about Doc. I think this is about Giannis saying, I cannot win in this situation. Get me the hell out of here. But he's too scared to be the bad guy. Rip the Band-Aid off, Giannis. It's going to be fine.
And those are your highlights and headlines.
Coming up next, we've got some quotes. We've got some text questions to get to and a top story as well. Major League Baseball, could it be headed our way in Central Florida? We'll get into that and some interesting comments from a politician out in Tampa next. All right, a quick timeout here because this is something I care immensely about. That, of course, is my air conditioning unit. And if I ever need a hand, I know who to call. It's Mills Air. They have always been my first call. They always will be. They're straight shooters. They show up when they say they will. And they're not going to try and upsell you on stuff that you don't need. They understand that, hey, in this economy, everybody's pinching pennies. And they're going to give you the best quality possible for the best price point that you could ask for. And it's not just me saying this. Mills Air was voted best in Orlando at Orlando Weekly because nobody does it quite like Mills here in this town. Protect your investment. Give yourself some peace of mind. Call Leon and the crew. Schedule your appointment and tell them that Brandon Kravitz from Game On sent you by. 407-277-1159 and online at millsair.com.
The Tampa Bay Rays, are they using us? Are they using the city of Orlando to try to get that new stadium built over in Tampa? I think they are. I think they are. There's all sorts of talk over in Tampa right now. The Rays have a new ownership group. They're trying to get a new stadium built, not in St. Pete where they've been forever, but on the other side of the river in Tampa. All right. Tampa's Hillsborough College is now their desired stadium location, but the Orlando area is a bit again being cast as sort of the fallback or the backup plan. Listen to what Hillsborough County Commissioner Ken Hagan said on the Pat and Aaron show yesterday on our sister station, WDAE in Tampa. Listen to this, Krabs.
Well, I've said it before. I think I've said it on your show.
Yeah.
I believe that it's either going to be located at HCC or the team's going to be in Orlando. And the reality is they have significantly more bed tax revenue than we do, and they've been pushing for a team. All that being said, it's an inferior market. It's a service-driven economy. Their TV market is below ours. People think traffic's bad here. It's horrible over there.
Yeah.
Think back, Orlando couldn't keep the Atlanta Braves spring training team, if you remember that. So there's no question about that. Commissioner Manfred knows that. The owners know that. But the reality is, if a deal can't get reached here, I firmly believe that's where they're going to be playing.
First of all, the Braves, wasn't that Orlando couldn't keep the Braves. The Braves wanted their own complex. They didn't want to share a complex with Disney, right? That's why they left Disney. It wasn't because Orlando couldn't support the Braves. But the fact of the matter is, Kravitz, you would agree that I mean, this guy wants to keep the team in Tampa. He's lobbied for a stadium in Tampa forever, and he's using Orlando to try to get everybody on board over in Tampa because, hey, you got Orlando trying to get our team. It's an age-old strategy used by professional sports owners. We know that. Use another city as leverage. And Scott Maxwell, the news columnist of the Sentinel, who has been lobbying against the baseball team forever, he says, we can't be used like this. And I'm like, why not? Use us. Abuse us. Do whatever you need to do.
If we're used, that means that we are a real option.
Right.
And that's all you can really ask for, and then you hope that the city leaders put even more pressure on the Rays and making it a possibility and not just something that's used as a political strategy. But he says it's an inferior market. I would push back on that.
Right.
I know that, I guess, technically Tampa is
a bigger market.
It's a higher ranked market in terms of overall population. I'd be curious to see what the market growth would say, because I think Major League Baseball would be interested in not what the present reality is, but what will the reality look like in 5 years. They would be more forward-thinking as smart business people, and I would venture to guess that by the time we get to 2030 and beyond, Orlando is going to be a bigger market than Tampa is, so it's a little bit short-sighted, but whatever. He's a politician in that town, so he's got every right to say that, because right now it's factual. And then the traffic part, I mean, just, we've running out of ideas. Like, have you ever been to Tampa? The traffic is terrible. It's terrible on both sides. It's awful.
We have express lanes on I-4 now, okay? We have express. Here's why I say Orlando is a legit prospect, and we're not just being used, all right? So the Tampa Bay Rays new ownership group, all right? Remember what happened in the middle of that ownership thing? Rick Workman, the money man behind the Orlando Dreamers, the dental billionaire guy, all right, who lives in Orlando, suddenly in the middle of the works here, he jumped ship and became part of the new Rays ownership group. So Rick Workman has connections here in Orlando. So let's not forget that little angle as well, that Rick Workman would probably like to have the team in Orlando and has already established some connections here with the politicians in Orlando. So, and here's the other thing about being used. Jacksonville forever was used by the NFL. Other NFL franchises used Jacksonville to try to get stadiums built, and they would come to Jacksonville and visit Jacksonville as if they were serious about moving to Jacksonville.
Yeah, like the
and
Colts.
Jacksonville they got used, they got abused, but in time, Jacksonville became a serious contender for an NFL franchise because they were so passionate about getting a team, and now Jacksonville has the Jaguars because of that.
Yeah, I think the big elephant in the room, obviously, is would Major League Baseball actually consider would they approve putting a third team in Florida when that has not worked? The NFL was different because the NFL didn't have any problems here. Baseball has problems here.
Right.
And so there's so many other markets that are vying for a Major League Baseball team. I do think it's one or the other. And it's unfortunate. It probably shouldn't be that way. I view Tampa and Orlando as completely separate markets, but I'm not sure that Major League Baseball sees it that way. So I think it needs to be Orlando, Tampa, Miami. Only two of those three can have a baseball team, and the other one's going to be left out. Right now, it's obviously us because they already have those teams. But right now, I mean, they don't have a new stadium plan in Tampa, and they're playing at a college. So come on.
What does that tell you? They're talking about building a stadium on the site of this community college. Is that essentially what Hillsborough is? It Hillsborough State College?
Yeah, and so do they plan on playing at the Trop? I know they renovated that to a degree. I don't know is it ready for them to play this upcoming season?
Supposedly it's going to be ready for them to play this upcoming season. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just curious about them trying to get a stadium built at a college. A major league base, is the college going to seed, the state going to seed that land to the team? I don't quite get it. Maybe we should have a guest on from over in Tampa.
Well, I happen to know the folks with the Pat and Aaron show, so I'll reach out to them. They talked to Ken Hagan about this, and maybe we'll bring them. I'm going to write myself a note right now to do that. We'll talk to them tomorrow about it because they understand this certainly better than we do.
And let me and Ron DeSantis also checked in on this. All right, so Ron DeSantis was at a some sort of public speaking event earlier this week, and here's what Ron DeSantis said about the stadium. If I can find it. We know there are other parts of Florida that want this team too, DeSantis said. I mean, Orlando wants it. Disney would love to put it in the wide world of sports. Universal could put it close to their parks, and that's where they're talking about building the stadium if Orlando gets the team. DeSantis has mentioned Orlando a number of times. So this team is not leaving the state of Florida. They will be either in Tampa or Orlando. They're not going anywhere. They're not going to Montreal or Charlotte no, they're staying in Florida.
Just keep mentioning our name. Just keep us in your mouth. And there's nothing I want more than for us to have a Major League Baseball team. I think it is what officially puts you on the map. I don't care how you feel about baseball. And just as a sports fan, nothing puts you on the sports map more officially than having a Major League Baseball team. There's not a big city in this country that doesn't have a baseball team. And I think that we are one of them, and I hope that one day soon we get to see that. Up next, we've got more Game On the way, a $50 gift card to the Great Greek up for grabs, and a text question about just how fancy you are. We'll get to that next.
I swore that in 2026 I was going to start the new year off right with a game-changing financial plan, and that's exactly what I've done. We all make New Year's resolutions, but how many of them actually stick? How many of you actually stick to your New Year's resolution? If one of yours is finally getting your finances and retirement in order, then I want you to call Trajan Wilt today and figure out how to make those resolutions last. Not just for the year, but for the rest of your life. I've talked about Trajan Wilt for a while, but now I'm actually a client. And let me tell you, they made retirement planning simple and easy. No pressure, no confusing jargon, just clear, honest advice from fiduciaries who actually put your goals first. That's huge because the more money you make, the more money they make. That's what fiduciary means. I walked in thinking I was in decent shape. I walked out feeling confident, prepared, and honestly, I felt relieved. They took the time to understand what I want my retirement to look like, then built a plan around me, not some cookie cutter formula. If you've ever wondered, could my plan be better? Am I missing something? Get a second opinion from Trajan Wealth. The new year is a perfect time to reset, refocus, and put a real plan in place. Call Trajan Wealth today, 407-204-0300, and tell them Mike Bianchi sent you. Or visit TrajanWealth.com to schedule your free consultation. That's TRAJAN Wealth.com. Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, SEC registered investment advisor, client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
I have not discussed with Bianchi what the text question is today, and I'm excited to lay this one out for you, Mike. You guys can text in, as always, 50857 on the Mills Air text line, or hit us up in the Rage Cage. That's the iHeartRadio talkback. January is a chance to start fresh, and what better way to kick off the new year than with the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill, the elevated fast casual eatery serving fresh, nutritious dishes that will help you make good on your resolutions. Stop in, place an order for takeout, delivery, or catering at thegreatgreekgrill.com. $50 gift card up for grabs, and you can zoom to the front of the line if you are the first to leave us a talk back today, assuming that you haven't won already this week. We've had a pair of winners, so we've given out, after today, $150 to the Great Greek Grill. Unreal. That's a lot of heroes, Mike.
Sure is. A lot of gyros.
A lot of tzatziki for freaky. All right, let's
baklava.
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 All right, let's get to it. Daily Coach Quote. Our daily source of inspiration and motivation, and today's is about health. I was, as the kids call it, doom scrolling through TikTok last night as I was having trouble falling asleep, and I saw this quote on a very short video, and I thought, man, that would. I'm glad I stayed up until 1 a.m. because this is going to make for a great coach quote in the afternoon. When your body is healthy, you have 1,000 problems. When your body is unhealthy, you have one problem, and that is your health. And if you think about it, when you get sick, and I'm talking, I'm having a hard time getting out of bed sick, not I've got the sniffles and I'm going to go to work anyway, but I'm talking bedridden sick. You shut everything else down in your life. Your to-do list becomes obsolete. You call out of work. You don't help out around the house. I mean, you barely even eat. All that you're doing is taking care of your body. And so, and that's something that everybody has experienced. But if you think about those that have real medical conditions, and especially those that experience it, that are experiencing it for the first time, that's your only problem. So again, I will reiterate, this one really landed for me. When your body is healthy, you have 1,000 problems. When your body is unhealthy, you have one, and that is your health.
Absolutely. I always like to say the greatest wealth is health. The greatest wealth is health.
It is the greatest luxury that we have.
Yeah. And if you should just take care of your body when you're sick, all right? You need to take care of your body when you're not sick. That's when you need to take care of your body.
Preventative maintenance. So you said that that health is wealth, and it's a perfect transition to what I was thinking about this morning that leads us to our text question today. What is the one bit of unnecessary luxury that you don't think you could live without? So,
what?
Yeah, this morning I get up. I'm in my sweatpants and a sweater. I've got my thermal socks on. I throw my earbuds in. I hit the coffee maker. I go to walk my dog. I've got 3 different shoes to choose from. And I think to myself, how spoiled am I? How bougie am I that I've got the heat on and thermal socks, coffee maker, you know? Yeah. I just felt like I've gotten to, this wasn't one of those moments. I'm not trying to have one of these cheesy moments of gratitude. I thought to myself, if all of this was stripped away, I think I'd have a real problem. So then I thought, what's the one thing I couldn't live without? I think I'd give up the thermal socks pretty quickly. The coffee maker might have to hang around, but the one bit of, because we'd all, I don't view.
So you're considering a coffee maker luxury?
Maybe not. I mean, it's open for discussion, but
okay.
The one bit of unnecessary luxury that you have that you say no, that stays. Everything else can go. And I'm not like air conditioning. That's not necessary.
That's
luxury.
not a luxury. That's a necessity.
That's a necessity. Yeah. So maybe a coffee maker is a necessity too.
If I ever buy, like I have a car now, all right, and it's the first car I've ever had that had this, and I would never have a car again without it. All right. I need to have my side view mirrors beep if there's a car in my blind spot.
There you go. That's exactly what I was going. That's exactly what I was going for.
I mean. I've rented a couple of cars that didn't have that since I got my car, and I'm like almost getting like 5 crashes. Switching lanes, you have to turn around to see if anybody's in your blind spot. Not with my luxury sedan. Put the blinker on, you go to shift over. If there's a car there, beep, 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 beep. Same way on the other side. Gotta have the beeping side view mirrors.
I think for me, it is, I've decided as of the last year or so, I've given up laces. I'm just done with laces on my shoes. They make shoes now for adults, not with Velcro. They got, they got the little strap, or the little knob.
You are getting old. You wearing your hush puppies now, huh?
I'm good. I tied my shoes long enough, and I'm done. I'm done doing it. Text in what is the unnecessary piece of luxury that you don't think you could live without, or the fanciest thing about you. Text in 50857.
Kravitz is wearing his Sansa belt trousers and hush puppies.
I'm tired of bending over. Up next, we'll get into your responses from the first hour of the show. On the way after this.
Okay, team, let's huddle up. It's the Bulldog, Mike Bianchi, and here's the game plan. If you're looking to upgrade your ride, all right, head to Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont, your truck headquarters for not 20, not 30, not 40, but 50 years. And right now you can lock in 3.9% APR for 60 months on a brand new 2026 Chevy Silverado, or up to $5,000 in bonus cash, or step into a new Chevy Equinox with 3.9% APR for 60 months and no payments for 90 days. How good is that? Visit Don Mealy Chevrolet today, or online you can shop at donmealychevy.com. Okay, let's break this huddle. Chevy, together, let's drive.
Looking for free beer before the games? Go to Wing House. Order up any half-pound burger at a regular price. Get a free 16-ounce domestic beer or soda to wash it down the perfect way to fuel up before the weekend hits. Juicy burgers, cold drinks, beautiful girls, and the Wing House vibe that you know and love. Wing House, good food, beautifully served. I did just get confirmation, Mike, Pat Donovan from the Pat and Aaron Show over at WDAE in Tampa, who interviewed Ken Hagan, who is running us down, local politician out there. Pat is going to be joining us tomorrow at 4 o'clock to talk about this story. So excited to get into that. I am having a hard time locating the text line because we have this new thing. All these sites now that you have to log into in life, they all want these second layer of security, these verification codes and all of that. But if you don't get sent the verification code, then you can't log in.
Same thing happened to me. It just took 20 extra minutes to get to me, so just wait a little bit. You'll get it eventually.
Okay. But I don't know if you've made it in, Mike.
No, it hasn't. I haven't gotten the code either.
There's only one, and it's me.
All right, Jaden. Well, hey, if you have text that you would like to rattle off, we'd love to hear it. If
I
not,
agree
I'll
with
pivot to
Mike.
something else.
Having a car with blinkers in the mirror is great to have, and I will ever have another car without it.
Yep. It is essential, and it beeps.
We need to keep this in mind for a future text question because I was talking to Kravitz the other day about his house. And I asked Kravitz a simple question about his house. All right. I said, "How many square feet is your house?" And he was like, well, I don't know how many square feet.
I knew when I bought the house. But
but
I don't know. I don't need to.
So the text question would be what every man should know.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I failed.
And you should know
I failed at that
the
test.
square footage of your house.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess you're right about that, but at the same time, why? I'm not selling it. I would need to know that if I was selling the house. I would live there. What am I going to walk around and go, 1, 2, 3, just making sure it hasn't shrank? It's the last
an
time.
ego thing. Hey, I got 1,700 square feet.
I, Mike, am egoless, okay? So
2,000 square feet. I got 2,500 square feet. Yeah.
You know why I don't know? It's probably because my house is small. If I had a big house, then it would be an ego thing. My house does not have a lot of square footage. I live in a nice neighborhood. The house is good. It's a decent house. But square footage would not be the sales point. You wouldn't start with that. If you were doing the bullet points of my home, would not start with the square footage.
Don't you live in a gated community?
I do live in I live in a gated community. There's a pool, neighborhood pool. You know, everybody keeps their house nice. The HOA stays on top of people.
Good. I like that.
But I do not know. Believe me, when you asked me that question, I thought, man, that is something I should know the answer to, and I certainly do not. I mean, I can make up a number. It's 1,000, 1,500. I don't know. But
it's bigger than 1,000. I'll guarantee you that.
I just know that when I was living in apartments, that would be my starting point. Was got to be 1,000 feet. I needed 1,000.
It's square feet. You don't even know how to say it.
Can I get 1,000-foot home, please?
I want 1,000 feet. Okay.
It's the biggest house. It's 1,000 feet. It's the biggest house in the neighborhood. Other people walk by, they say, "How did you get such a big house in this neighborhood?" I realized I was trying to do Trump, and I turned into my grandfather.
You probably don't even know what brand your toilet is, do you?
There's toilet brands?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
You have no idea.
Well, I would tell you, but we're running out of time. So why would I need to know that? American Standard.
Mine's an American Standard. Like mine at my main bathroom's an American Standard.
I think I
only go American Standard when it comes to my toities.
What's the standard Walmart brand, like Great Value? I think I got a Great Value toilet. They're all the same. It's made of porcelain. There's a plastic top.
Value does not make toilets. They make cornflakes, but not toilets.
Coming up next, a storm is a-brewing here in town. Find out more from the head coach of Orlando's newest football team, Anthony Beck, joining us in a moment. Right now, we step to the side for Fox Sports Radio. Welcome back to your favorite afternoon sports talk show across the state of Florida, Game On with Bianchi and Kravitz. We have a date for the debut of Orlando's newest football team. March 29th, the Orlando Storm will kick things off against Columbus. A lot of work to be done between now and then before we are game day ready, but this man will be at the helm as he gets the team up to speed. The head coach, Anthony Beck, joins the show now. Anthony, welcome to Game On, and congrats on the new position.
Yeah, man, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Just really fired up about this awesome opportunity to really coach in my home state. You know, I've been down here for 21 years now, and hell, I've been to Orlando and that Orlando area probably 200 times. And it's a place that's looking for football, and we want to provide a very good product here, and it's coming on March 29th.
What about this opportunity made you want to jump at it? Because there's always going to be some uncertainty when it comes to spring football, but this was something that you clearly see the value in for yourself, for the market, for the players that you're going to be coaching. So what is it that sold you on this opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, you know, to play football in Florida and all the fans and really just, you know, the perfect weather to have games and spring ball is something to me that I really believe in. You know, when I took the job in St. Louis 3 years ago, first-time head coach, I had a vision, a plan, and I promised a winner, and I promised excitement, and I promised entertainment, and I promised great players, and we did that from day one. And, you know, we've won 75%, almost 75% of our games over the last 3 years, and I just felt like coming home and being able to do something in Florida with the 3 years now that we've continued to build the league, as it was the XFL and then the UFL, and now the new branded UFL that Mike Rapoli, the new owner who lives in Orlando, that wanted to bring us to the great city. I think it's going to take off and be great. The venue is awesome. You know, Inter and Co Stadium is fantastic, and I think it holds about 25,000 seats. And, man, I'd love to get close to 20,000 for the first game. And it's a primetime event. It's ESPN. It's primetime, 8 o'clock. You know, we get close to 1 million viewers, you know, per game. I mean, that's impressive, and that's why it's been so good. And we got a great team assembled. And I'm just fired up to be there, Mike. I think it's going to be awesome. And I just want fans and people in the Orlando area to check it out. It's affordable. And if they show up, I will promise a great product. That's what I did in St. Louis, and it's, you know, it's been awesome since then. So I can't wait to start and bring a team to Orlando.
Do you have any sort of anticipation as of right now? I know we're still a ways away from the season starting, but do you have any feel for what fan support is going to look like?
Well, you know, I think it's obviously it's part of the marketing plan. It's part of my plan. I mean, you know, not only being a head coach, you know, I'm very active on social media, podcasts. I'm going to be in the area, obviously, up to the season. We're going to have a Fan Fest rally at Interco Stadium on Thursday, February the 5th, from 5 to 8. I think we already have close to 700 RSVPs for the event. We'll have myself, players, food, drinks. We'll have some events and prizes and gear. So, I mean, man, everybody should come out, bring their kids. It's also very affordable, Mike. I mean, you talk about season tickets starting as low as $50. Anybody that obviously has been at an Orlando City soccer game, and I've been to one, and I've watched them on television. What a great venue. I mean, just a great place. And to have fans right on top of the action in a football setting, man, where can you get that? I mean, like, it's, we have another team that plays in the MLS stadium in Washington, D.C., the D.C. Defenders, and those fans, they're in your ear, man. They're right there, and they can make a difference. And it can be an awesome event, an awesome venue, and an awesome place to play football. And I'm hoping, again, as we continue to market and be on the radio shows and places like, in front of places like you and television networks and news reports and all those kind of things, that, we can build this thing up and show that we can be a really strong professional football team in the Orlando area.
Coach, by the way, that's Brandon Kravitz who was asking the questions. I'm Mike Bianchi, so sorry for the confusion.
I'm sorry. I was told Mike was there. My bad, fella. Well, when I meet you in person at the event, because you guys are going, right, then I can make sure I can get your names right.
I want to, Coach, you played obviously for a long time. I guess you've been living in Florida since you played with the Bucks, right?
100%. Yeah, I've been in Tampa 21 plus years, man. I love it. And my Tampa Bay times were unbelievable under Coach Gruden. We won a lot of games, two division championships, and man, I've been around a lot of great coaches over my 12 years of playing.
Is Coach Mike Rapoli had mentioned Coach Gruden maybe getting involved with the league somehow? Is he involved yet, or?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's been a great spokesperson for what we're doing. I know him and Mike have started to kind of grow a great relationship. He's obviously always welcome to any one of our games in Tampa, but I'm sure at some point maybe there was always some talk, and maybe there's something here in the future that comes with it. But I know Coach Gruden obviously very well, and I know he's a big advocate of this league and the opportunity it gives some of those football players that are kind of right on the cusp of making the NFL.
So you played, you were broadcasting. How did you get involved with the league in general? What was the allure of coaching in the league? Did you just want to get into coaching?
Yeah, I've been coaching the NFLPA Collegiate All-Star Game, which recently ended for about 8 or 9 years, starting right after I stopped playing. That was some of the best talent that came in college. It was similar to the Senior Bowl they have every year, the Hula Bowl. And when I did that, man, coaches, I was coaching under Mike Martz. I was coaching under Marvin Lewis, and these guys would always tell me, man, you got to stop doing the media, and you got to start coaching. You got too much to bring to the table, too much knowledge.
Oh, wow.
And, just timing wasn't there for me. My son obviously plays quarterback now, in his final season at Penn State, was at Iowa State from Tampa, representing our area at the highest level. And, it was an ability to kind of like, okay, how can I do this, when the time is right? And then the AAF, which was a spring league that started in 19, which obviously didn't make it. The Orlando Apollos were part of that. You guys remember that team. I was with the San Diego Fleet under Mike Martz. I was his tight end coach. That was my first gig. And I went out to San Diego, man, 3.5 months, and did it. I loved it. And, a couple of years later, when the XFL was bought by The Rock and Danny Garcia through bankruptcy, when that ended in COVID, I remember telling my wife, when that happened, the day they bought that in bankruptcy, I didn't know what the plan was. Like, I'm going to be a head coach in that league. And I was on a mission to get in front of anybody and everyone with zero experience, just really my name and really selling a vision and a plan. And I was able to get in front of people like Russ Brandon, the CEO, Danny Garcia, who lives in the Orlando area as well, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and just sold my vision. And they loved it, and they gave me a shot. And they put me in the number one market with the most fan base in St. Louis. And I hit the ground running, man. We built a great team. And I want to do the same thing in Orlando. I know how to do it. I know what I want. I know the players that I want. We got a great lineup right now. We're adding a few more players. And it's going to be exciting. We're going to win a lot of games. It's going to be fun, and I can't wait to meet the fans.
By the way, Spurrier still claims the AAF championship, even though the season did not get finished.
Yeah, you know what? Listen, undefeated. We were actually getting ready to play them when they shut the league down. They were our next game. So, man, we're going to come to the bounce house, and we had a great plan. But, man, we never got a chance. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, he was undefeated. You got to give him the crown there. I love Coach Spurrier, big fan. he was around. Obviously, he's good friends with Stoops the last couple of years. He's been to our games, some of our games. I played golf with him recently about a year ago, and, man, he's awesome. So got to live up to it, right? So I got to do it.
Oh, Anthony hung up on us.
See if we can get him back, because I wanted to challenge him to ping pong. He's a great ping pong player. And I used to be the city of Gainesville 10-year-old champion when I was 10 years old.
I have an idea.
Pong.
So they've got this fan fest coming up. I think we go Bianchi versus Coach Beck ping pong. Winner gets to call the first play of the first game. How about that?
Coach, are you back?
He is not back yet. He just called back in, so he's going to be ready to go in just one moment. Anthony Beck back on the show. Thanks for calling us back, Anthony.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
Coach, I'm glad you called back, because I wanted to get the opportunity to challenge you, all right? I happened, back when in my younger days, I was the 10-year-old champion, city of Gainesville, in ping pong, and I understand you're a pretty good ping pong player, so I am challenging you right now to a game of ping pong.
You know what we can do? We can do at halftime. We can do a ping pong challenge right on the 50-yard line. We'll get a table out there. We'll get you out in front of the fans and see what you do under pressure. That would be the best challenge, I think. Right?
Okay.
That would be a great idea. And Michael Poll-A, I think he'd be up for it. I mean, this guy wants to do some awesome things, and we can have a little fun at halftime when we have a nice lead over the Columbus Aviators.
You know the new ping pong movie, Marty Supreme? They call me Mikey Supreme, okay? Boom.
Well, look, it sounds like you're pretty dedicated to the sport, but I have played my share of ping pong, so we'll see. I'll take that challenge.
Anthony, that was very generous of you calling that an awesome idea. I just want to say you're a very nice person.
Hey, whatever it takes. If it gets me one more fan in the stadium, I'm all for it.
Hey, I have one more for you, Coach. What is your team looking like? You mentioned that you have an idea of what you want your players to look like, who you want to bring in. How close are you to finalizing the roster? And is there anybody that you think the state of Florida audience would be familiar with?
Oh, my gosh, yeah. I mean, this may be my best roster top to bottom, even, with St. Louis, being that we had to reconstruct everybody's teams. But, the quarterback position, obviously that's tremendously important. Jack Plummer, number one, played, the last 2 seasons in Carolina, had about 250 snaps of preseason football, got to watch a lot of them being on the voice of the Jets, so they played them twice, got to see him pass, throw, do a lot of good things, got some really good relationship with the Panthers. They really like him, just really didn't get the chance. So now he gets to come to our league, and he's smart, big in the pocket, 6'5". He's got the ability to extend, big arm, can make all the throws. I mean, he looks the part. And then also we have DTR, Thompson Robinson, who's played in the NFL, who's started games with the Browns, played for the Eagles a little bit last year, and, an explosive guy that's a little bit more leg-friendly as far as, running and extending, and he's got a really strong arm, and, he's done a lot of exciting things, close to 12,000 yards in total offense at UCLA. We got some Florida State players on our team that we're really excited about. Deshaun Corbin is a running back. He was a number 1 rusher in our league last year, went to Florida State, went to the NFL in training camp last year. He's one of our running backs as well. We just signed, one of our defensive linemen, Fabian Lovett. He played at Florida State a few years ago, a D tackle. We got him. We really lured him away from a futures contract at the NFL as I was trying to recruit some of those, close to NFL players that were there. But, man, listen, we're stacked. Our offensive line, we have, out of the 11 guys, the offensive linemen that we have, I believe 7 of them were in training camps last year in the NFL. So, again, we just, talent. Elijah Badger, very good Florida Gator, wide receiver, explosive. Got an opportunity to show his stuff with the Kansas City Chiefs this last year and didn't work out. But, man, he had close to 20-yard average at Florida when he was a receiver there. So, listen, we're going to have an explosive offense. We're going to be very aggressive on defense. I'm a very aggressive coach as well, from a fourth down standpoint, and just put a lot of trust in my guys, man. Just helping these guys fill those spots that they need to get them to the next level, but also, win games and have fun doing it.
Coach, we're much more excited about the Orlando Storm with your Orlando Storm than we are with your New York Jets. Let me tell you that.
Yes,
okay?
that is true.
Oh yeah, no, it's been tough, but the future's bright. They got a lot of draft equity, and they're going to have some money to spend. So hopefully they can turn that around. But hey man, it's hard, man. It's been hard in New York.
Thanks so much for the time. Single game tickets will be available to the public starting on Monday, February 2nd. That's starting at 11 a.m. Season tickets available for just $50. Anthony Beck, head coach of the Orlando Storm. We appreciate the time. We'll definitely catch up again soon.
Thanks, Coach.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Remember, Fam Rally, February 5th, 8 to 5 at Inter&Co Stadium. Show up. It's free. Be a great time. RSVP online. All my social media outlets. It's very easy. I'm very active, and I can't wait to meet you guys.
There you go.
I'll bring my ping pong paddle.
Bring it. Yeah, I'll have the table at the 50-yard line. You got it.
Anthony Beck, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't realize DTR was on the team. Dorian Thompson-Robinson. That's exciting. They got some talent between Corbin at running back and Badger at wide receiver. These are guys that state of Florida fans would absolutely know about. Up next, banner day for the Miami Dolphins. I think my fellow fans are going to be quite pleased with what they hear in the next segment. Don't go anywhere.
uh, I love the month of January, the New Year's resolutions. Mine are still going strong, by the way. All right, new year, new season. If you want to tighten up your home's defense, you start with Renewal by Anderson's Acclaim Impact windows, built with Fibrex material that is twice as strong as vinyl. These things are like an all-pro linebacker, tackling heat, humidity, storms, even high-velocity flying objects. And right now, it's their happy renewal year sale. Buy one window or patio door, get the second 40% off, plus zero down, zero payments, zero interest for one full year. How good is that? Renewal replaces windows that are less than a decade old every day. Why? Because those windows don't last, but their windows are tested in extreme conditions and built for the long haul. Energy efficiency, durability, peace of mind. This is how you start the year right. Whether you're in Central Florida, the Gulf Coast, or in Jacksonville, visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free in-home consultation. That's bestwindowsflorida.com. License number CGC 1527613. Renewal by Anderson, where comfort meets savings.
Yeah, you asked me if I felt ready. The other thing that I want to reiterate is, I went on a lot of Zooms. I went on 6 Zooms. I had 6 teams call me right after to try to set up a flight to go out there. And most know those teams just by reading through it. I chose to come here first, and that was very important to me. I wanted to get a feel not only for John Eric, but I wanted to get a feel for Mr. Ross and the entire organization. And those conversations led me to want to be here. Yeah, you asked me.
Later in the season, heading into this back half, we need to, find a way to string some consistent basketball together and get wins. I know we're in the playoffs right now, but, you can't be complacent with that. You got to try to fight for home court and, get a top seed.
Yeah, let's get a winning streak going. That right there, Paolo Banchero ahead of tonight's game against the Charlotte Hornets as the Magic come back stateside. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 on our sister station, 104.5 The Beat. You can also check it out on iHeartRadio, NBA app, all of that good stuff. IBEW Local 606 is the proud sponsor of our Magic coverage, and they are also proud to serve electrical workers across Central Florida, providing its members a supportive community, training, valuable benefits, and advancement opportunities. Text question today, what is the one bit of unnecessary luxury that you have that you don't think you could live without? I had my heat on this morning. I was wearing thermal socks, earbuds in as I went to walk the dog, coffee maker brewing, multiple shoes to choose from, and I thought, I'm so fancy. And I don't think I could live without any of this.
You know what else I couldn't live without? My espresso maker.
That might be the unnecessary. I don't think that the coffee maker counts. I think the espresso machine is the unnecessary luxury.
Yeah, I have an espresso machine, and I make latte every day. Yeah. I have to have my latte every day.
You do the steamed milk and everything?
Oh, yeah, it's got a little wand that goes into the milk, and yeah.
We really are fancy individuals.
Oh,
so
good. Yeah, I don't even need to go to Starbucks anymore. I mean, mine's better.
Yeah, same. I go to Starbucks when I'm pressed for time and I'm already on the road, but that definitely cost efficient to make it at the house. I would love to read some texts to you, but I still can't get into the text line. So.
Yeah, I haven't received the code. I pressed resend a zillion times.
Jaden, do we have anything else before I move on to the Dolphins?
Someone said they can't live without their car seat warmer. That's a great answer.
That is definitely an unnecessary luxury. Thank you for that one. That is exactly what I was looking for when we started talking about this.
I have a warmer and a cooler in the luxury sedan, a car seat cooler that blows cold air up your pants.
Like sometimes these things, when I don't have a car seat warmer, but I have things like that, like the things that we're talking about, these bits of luxury, I think to myself, this was part of the thought process this morning. I don't know how we as humans survived as cave people. No idea. I would not have made it. I would not have carried on my gene pool. There's no way. I'm in the state of Florida wearing sweatpants, a sweater, and thermal socks with my heat on inside. How in the world was I going to make it as a caveman fighting mammoths?
It's why the rest of the world hates us. Because of how we live. I've told you this many times. You know why the rest of the world hates us? Because we can go into 7-Eleven and have like 10 flavors of coffee in a convenience. The blueberry cream, the hazelnut cream, all these different coffees in a convenience store.
That's why whenever I see somebody that's complaining at a restaurant about my toast isn't toasted enough, I'm like, do you hear yourself? How ridiculous you sound that you were privileged enough to be upset about this. My God. You know what? I'm not going to throw us off too much because if we start getting into this right now, yes, Jaden is praying to the producer God, small G. Yeah, we're gonna put this on hold. In fact, you know what we're gonna do? Okay, ready? Executive decision here. The polls are out there. They're gonna sit there for 24 hours. You can go and vote on them for Poll-A-Palooza at 96.9 Game On. A lot of thought-provoking questions out there to be answered. We will give our responses and the official results on tomorrow's show. Up next, we're going to get into this press conference. Jeff Hafley was introduced as the Miami Dolphins' new head coach, and there's an obvious takeaway that I think Miami Dolphins fans are going to love about this guy. We'll talk about it next. This is your Tools Ace Hardware assist of the night. Franz Wagner, snake eyes from long range.
He's going to go back to work on Conchar. Finds Franz in the corner. Wide open three. It's up and good. Well, you can't leave Franz Wagner alone on an island in Berlin, Germany. But they did. We're tied at 105.
Excited to see Franz play again. He's not playing tonight, but if you are gearing up for game day, Tools Ace is your MVP for grilling greatness. From Big Green Egg to Traeger, they've got everything you need to fire up the flavor. 14 Central Florida locations, including their brand new store in downtown Windermere. Tools Ace is your neighborhood home maintenance expert, the helpful place. Every night and your best stop before the game. Visit toolsacehardware.com and go Magic. All right, let's dive back into this Dolphins chatter. Banner day for the Dolphins. I think my fellow fans are going to be properly sold on the new coach after hearing some clips that we've got here. I feel like Bianchi today. Wasn't sold on the coach when the news came out. Then I hear the guy at the press conference, and I'm like lapping it up like a dog at the bowl. So Jeff Hafley delivered his initial statements after being introduced to the media for the first time as the head coach. We have Hafley. We also have some John Eric Sullivan, the new general manager, and then a clip from the owner, Stephen Ross, that we cannot exit this segment without airing. But let's start with Hafley. He says that Miami deserves a winner.
I'm gonna wear it on my sleeve at times. I'm gonna be passionate. I'm gonna tell you how I feel. And you're going to get everything I have, and to the city, to the fans. This is a story organization, one of the best in all sports, and you deserve a winner. You guys deserve a winner. And I am going to do everything in my power to bring you guys that. I am so proud to be here, and I cannot wait to get started.
I am flattered, okay? He didn't.
You're just flattered. You're just flattered because he didn't go. I'm gonna try to bring you guys a winner. Yeah. You're just, yeah. He's not Mike McDaniel. That's why.
Well, hold on. So that was only one clip. Maybe the Mike McDaniel in him comes out. Let's hear it. He talks about becoming the head coach.
I am truly humbled to stand here and be the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. And I take a lot of pride and responsibility in that. And over the last, really, 48 hours, I've had a lot of time to reflect on that and on my journey and really where I came from and how I got here. And the biggest thing that kept hitting me was people. It's the players, it's the coaches, and it's the families. And as I really go through it, it's all those lessons that I learned in all the places that I've been. I've had a little bit different journey. I started off coaching Division III football, worked my way up, went to the NFL, went back to college football, became a head coach, went back to the NFL, coordinated, and now I'm here.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Sounds good.
The guy slept in his office for 2 years when he was like a grad assistant. Slept under his desk. That's how passionate he was about coaching football.
And he was committed to taking the Miami Dolphins job because he claims that he had received multiple phone calls to come and fly in to different locations, and he said, no, I'm going to Miami first.
Yeah, you asked me if I felt ready. The other thing that I want to reiterate is, I went on a lot of Zooms. I went on 6 Zooms. I had 6 teams call me right after to try to set up a flight to go out there. And most know those teams just by reading through it. I chose to come here first, and that was very important to me. I wanted to get a feel not only for John Eric, but I wanted to get a feel for Mr. Ross and the entire organization. And those conversations led me to want to be here.
So,
Wow.
I like what I hear, and I think you hit the nail on the head, Mike. I just wanted to make sure that we got it all out there. We didn't judge him off of one clip, perhaps just judging him off of 3. I didn't hear one. Well,
I'm looking at my laminated flow chart right now. Yes, I've studied the Pythagorean theorem on how to run the spread offense, and I think it could work here in the National Football League.
This is a man's man, okay? This is the kind of guy that knows the square footage of his house, okay?
That's right.
the kind of guy Jeff Hafley is. So they do have decisions to make at quarterback. John Eric Sullivan, the new general manager, talks about Tua.
I mean, obviously that's a huge question looming over the organization. I'd be naive to think that everybody doesn't understand that. I have a lot of respect for Tua. He's a good football player. He's accomplished a lot in this league. I think whether it's Tua or anybody else, it's unfair and irresponsible for me to sit up here and talk about anything specific before I've talked to the player himself. Quarterback is the most important position in professional sports. You know, I also think it's the most dependent. These guys heard me say this in the interview process. We will evaluate that position like we evaluate every other position, and we will do what is best for this football team. With Tua or anybody else, to sit up here today and tell you that I have a great understanding of what we're going to do or which way we're going to go, that would be a lie, because there's just too much work to do. There's too many conversations to be had at this point. A lot of respect for Tua, what he's accomplished in this league. I thought Quinn did a great job at the end of the season. We have to figure that out. We will, but today is not the day I can give you that answer. I understand the question. I just can't give you that answer today.
Boy, that's one of those answers. The more words the answer has, the less likely Tua is on the Miami Dolphins next year.
I don't think they should automatically just cut him loose. Not with his salary. Not with what they have behind him. Quinn Ewers, did he impress you?
I thought he was fine.
He was okay.
Well, whatever option they go with is probably just going to be okay, which is why I can kind of get behind Tua for another year. Now, it will drive me crazy watching him play quarterback again, but I would be naive in my own right to think that whoever they throw back there isn't going to make similar mistakes to Tua, because they're most likely not going to land somebody that changes the course of the organization. This is going to have to be a transitional year, and whatever. If that's with Tua at quarterback, I just don't think Dolphins fans can get too attached to the idea that Tua is not their quarterback next year, because I don't think it makes that big of a difference, honestly.
Right.
The last one here. Stephen Ross, the owner of the Miami Dolphins, also stood at the podium. And if you think we're sold on Jeff Hafley, just wait till you hear Stephen Ross.
Enthusiasm, the knowledge, the background. Jeff stood out amongst them all.
He didn't know his name.
He forgot his name. Who do we hire again?
That's Miami Dolphins owner Joe Biden.
I'm surprised Stephen Ross didn't go up there and go, well, John Harbaugh wouldn't answer my phone calls, so here's this guy.
Jeff. Yes, Jeff.
Right. Jack, get up here. Okay, so there you go.
There should be an age limit for presidents. There should be an age limit for NFL owners, okay?
Yes, especially
call me an ageist if you want.
Okay, well, I won't, but yeah, perhaps there should be, especially those that stand at podiums. Maybe we should have put a mic in front of Stephen Ross's face. Up next, I am going to break into this text line if it's the last thing I do. We also got your talkbacks, responses from the first couple of hours of the show coming your way right after this.